to order the meeting of the Greater Peoria Mass Transit District from 2105 Northeast Jefferson Avenue, Peoria, Illinois, 61603. This time we'll have roll call.
All right. Trustee Wortham.
Present.
Trustee Ahart. Trustee Hare.
Present.
Trustee McBride.
Present.
And Trustee Polk.
Present.
All right, we have a quorum.
Okay, and we will have pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you, Nick. Okay. Now, we all received the minutes from our meeting from December 13th, 2021. Are there any additions or corrections? If hearing none, the minutes stand approved as circulated. Do we have any communications?
Yes, ma'am, we have one tonight.
Okay.
This is from Vanessa Dixon, Vice President of the local ATU 416. What?
That's public comment.
Oh,
Missed our.
never mind.
Oh, okay. You have no communications then?
I
Do you have
guess
any
not.
other?
I guess not.
Okay. Okay. Do we have any reports from officers? Any reports from standing committees?
Nope.
Wow. I feel like saying something just to say that. No. Okay. Okay. A report from the general manager at this time.
We did start our discussions with TransDev. It's in the early stages. Don't have anything to report on that yet. The CBA was approved by the union membership yesterday. So we will be moving forward with that approval. I did get a tentative agreement on the CSR and administrative agreement today. So we'll wait for their vote and hopefully have both of those signed together. I did pull out of the bike share agreement. That was a 5310 program. I just wasn't comfortable with the direction that was heading. We might reapply for funds for under microtransit instead. We'll see how things develop on that. I'm going to be in Washington, D.C. on the 24th and 25th of January for the Bus Coalition Board of Directors retreat. We're hoping the FTA administrator is going to join us for a little bit of time there. And then we'll be working on the triennial review the next few weeks, getting everything put together for that. And that's all I have.
So now ask you something that I forgot. If I remember it again, I'll ask you. But I had a question. I don't know what it is.
I do.
Okay, you have one?
Tell me about the updated agreement with the Agency on Aging. Anything worth mentioning or saying? Just,
For the Agency on Aging?
well, it says mobility management updated Central Illinois Agency on Aging Service Agreement.
Okay, I think that's just an annual agreement that we do.
Okay.
So I think it was just signed and pushed forward. So, yeah, no big updates or changes.
No changes there.
No.
I remember what my question was. Are we looking for anyone to fill the space at the transit center?
We are. We're still waiting on a response from Early Head Start with the Urban League.
Okay.
So Maya's has pulled out. They cleaned up everything this month. So yeah, we're looking at that or other possibilities right now, but they get first shot at it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Early Head Start?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Now we'll have the facility update. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I print out this packet and I think I'll just run through it really quick here. River City construction poured concrete slab at the north side of the body shop. River City has also been leveling and grading for another section of concrete paving being poured. This is gonna be weather depending. It may shift some of this paving into March or April, but it will not affect the overall schedule. We also have installed some temporary doors to assist with the heating, working with PIPCO on keeping that warm inside. JJ Breaker is 90% complete on the CME wall install. They have to come back and complete the chase wall after the slab is poured. NE Finch has graded and leveled the interior of the building to get ready to have the slab poured by Peoria Metro. We're hoping to get it poured next week. It will be dependent, or the week after, I'm sorry, it'll be dependent on the roofing right now. They also poured some sections of the retaining wall. MEP contractors are moving forward with the mechanicals on the interior. BC&D, we had the pre-bid meeting last Wednesday on the 5th. We had an outstanding turnout and have a lot of interested bidders, so that's exciting. M2 and River City have been working through bidder questions, and we'll have the final addendum out this Friday. Bid opening is scheduled for Thursday, January 20th. River City will conduct scope reviews for the next 2 weeks on any potential bidders, and then we will look forward to hopefully getting board approval in February. And then as far as the budget update, we're still sitting at the GMP currently at 8.4 million. We are 46% complete on phase A. So we have no increase this month's request, and we're just looking forward to February board meeting. Any questions?
Okay, any questions? Thank you.
If anybody wants to walk through the building, please let us know. We'd gladly take you through anytime you want. I
Sure.
forgot to offer that last month, so.
As soon as the weather gets better.
Thank you.
We're working on moving the camera. Usually we have a video for you.
Oh.
We're working on getting that moved inside so you can watch it. Then when the big building starts, we'll probably move it 2 or 3 more times so you can get different like vantage points and whatnot. So we're waiting for the contractor to come and put it inside for us. So just FYI, that's why I didn't have a video.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Miss Angel, how are you today?
Good, how are you?
Oh, good.
Thank you. So in addition to what you already have in your packets, just give you a quick little update of some of the things that we have going on in addition. All of the tablets have been received, so we're very excited about that. So thank you so much, Nick and Chris, wherever you are. We really appreciate it. Our staff is going through all of them now, making sure the app is on, the blocker's on, all that good stuff, making sure they're ready to go. We are waiting on tablet holders. Nick let me know tonight that Chris has taken care of getting that ordered, so in a few weeks we'll have those, so we can install those inside the buses. Make it a lot safer for the drivers while they're looking at their tablets as they're traveling, and a lot safer for the tablets themselves to not be dropped and other issues that sometimes happen. So we're really happy that that's on the way. We are struggling with COVID. I'm sure everyone is. All employers in the area. Over the Christmas break, we had 10 drivers out with COVID. Anytime one driver's out, it's a challenge for us when you're already short-staffed. So having 10 was a challenge, but luckily it was during a slower week. So we were able to make it through that. Now we've had some people come back, we've had some more people leave. So right now we have 3.5 people out with COVID. And I say 0.5 because one is a probable, but not a positive yet. She went to get a test today due to some close contact with her family over the weekend. So right now, like I said, we have about 3.5 people that are out. However, the good news is things are turning. We have more applicants now than we've had since we started. So we have a lot in our pool. I'm still having some trouble getting people to show up for the interview. But right now we have 4 scheduled, 4, possibly 5 scheduled for our next class, with still some more interviews to do this week. We have 2 people who graduated, one last week, one this week, and they are out on the road. They're doing excellent. We have 2 more that should graduate this week. They're in the final stages of cadeting, which we have from classroom to BTW, which is behind the wheel, which is where they're learning the skills of the bus and how to maneuver it. Then they go into cadetting, which is where they're actually driving with passengers on board the bus, performing the route as if they were on their own. So 2 in cadetting. We have 3 right now that are in BTW. So hopefully by the end of this month, we'll have 7 brand new drivers out on the road, and they all seem really excited and really eager. So we're very happy with that group that we had. The ones we have for the next class, they all passed their drug test with flying colors, so we're on to DOT physicals. And they should be ready to go for that next class. We'll be participating in a job fair with Tri-County Urban League on the 19th, so get ready for that. Our ridership is steadily increasing. We are 42.35% year over year higher than we were last year. So steadily increasing on that, which means we're still going to keep trying, hiring. We have a goal that we want to have at least 10 more drivers than we actually need for the current routes. The goal is to break up some of the routes we have now. Some of our routes are really heavy. Because we're so short-staffed, we have to put as many people on a bus as possible, and that increases the ride times for people. And we don't want anyone on the bus any longer than they have to be. The goal is an hour or less, preferably much less. But in some cases, some of our agency partners, they have large group homes and large groups of people at their facilities. So sometimes we're having issues with that. So as we have more drivers, we are breaking up those routes, and even on a daily basis. If today I happen to have 3 extra drivers, like I did actually today, 3 extra. We broke them up for today, just to kind of, especially when it's so cold out, we really don't want anyone on those buses longer than necessary. So we're moving along with that. As Doug said, him and my superiors are in talks. Hopefully we can come to some sort of resolution on that sometime soon. And that's pretty much all the extra stuff I have to say.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Public comments.
I guess I've got one.
Okay.
I don't know if she's on the line.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if Mary's on the line.
Anyway, as I earlier started to say, I've got a public comment from Vanessa Dixon, Vice President of the local ATU 416. Dear Board of Trustees, I'm writing on behalf of the ATU Local 416 regarding the City Link on the Move study and proposed routes. We have many concerns regarding these changes and requested a meeting be set up with management and scheduling and our union reps to discuss how this will impact our driver sign up. We have not received any communication since the request was made during negotiations. The recommendation is to move forward in March of 2022, and we still have many unanswered questions. So I did talk to Vanessa today and reassured her that we would have this meeting and discussion set up in the near future. I know they are doing meetings with the drivers this week, and basically we were waiting for tonight to be finished so that we could get approval from the board on the books so that we know that we are moving forward. And that was going to start all the dialogue. So.
Okay. All right. There's no old business. New business, we have a presentation by Mr. Campbell. Yes.
What general?
Comprehensive operational analysis.
I believe that you all have a copy of the slideshow in your package here, so I'm not going to read it word for word, but starting from the beginning, the comprehensive operational analysis is actually, we got results from it back in 2019. We wanted to move ahead with it then, but COVID smacked us, so we had to kind of back off after we got the public hearings and all the input from the operators at that time.
Okay.
What we did is we went back this year and we had the public hearings again back in November. Then we shared information with operators the first week in December. And now what we're doing is we're sharing further changes that we put to that information this week. Okay, so in regards to your public comment there, we talked with Vanessa today. She's a lot more satisfied with what she's seeing now as far as what we put together. Can everybody hear me okay?
I can. Anybody else have that
Let's do
problem?
this.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not gonna read this presentation word for word. There you go. during this presentation, and we put a lot of work into this, after speaking with the employees, we asked for their feedback and we asked them to go ahead, be judgmental, be as hard with the information as you want to, but we need the information back from you, okay? And the information was, the biggest question was, were the changes going to improve our ridership, since that's what we're trying to base things on, is to get the ridership back up, but still be efficient about using the ridership. Our answer to the question is yes, because not only are we increasing the frequency of service, but we're also extending service in areas where the time was cut short during the evening hours. We've extended some of those evening hours. With that in mind, we feel that that's going to completely rise our service, as well as adding more weekend service to our service. So like on Sundays, for instance, there'll be an additional 5 routes out there, which will cover a lot more of the city, including 96C. So we'll work on peaking when they get around to their point. But this should help raise the numbers of the passengers that we're looking for, hopefully. And then if these changes fail, it's a new start for us, okay? CityLink is growing. Okay, you got the new buildings, we got the new technology in the Avail system, we got new electric buses. Operations needs to catch up. So by catching up, what we need to do is more efficient routes, and we shouldn't wait every 20 years to improve the routes that we have, okay? We're working on routes right now that are 40 plus years old with no changes to it. That worked, and that's fine, but what worked then, we're not evolving with the city. And we need to keep that dynamic coming forward. We have to. Let's get down to this here. Drivers are concerned about the areas where we're no longer going to service them. From the study, we were able to determine that right at 1% of our customers would be misaligned, out of place. If our drivers do what we need them to do, is that exert more customer care, we can probably arrange to get that group back into the mix. But we need them to be out like before with information. And then we're a fixed route system. Our system is based on serving more people most of the time, and as many as we can to be an efficient system. So you can't let a few people keep the rest of the system from improving and advancing on. And then of course, when it comes to change, a lot of drivers are a little bit unhappy because it's gonna affect some of the work that they're doing now, okay? It's not gonna affect it to a point where they don't get to choose the work they want. It's just that the work has been set up in a point where they're no longer gonna be able to piecemeal or the cafeteria style. They're not gonna be able to put it together that way anymore. We've got most of the routes put together. We've still left what we consider biddable packages, but the extra board is gonna be shrunken down tremendously. It's not gonna be 20 and 25 people anymore. Then we hit the community. And with the community feedback, we encourage all drivers and passengers, anybody who wants to go online, give us your feedback as to what you thought about the changes. As you can see, it's kind of overwhelming here. 46% said they could live with the changes. Another 22% said, I can accept the changes. That's what we're looking for, okay? And then of course you got those the community that said, nope, we don't want to do it. And then these two questions here gave us more of a bearing on what our numbers were pre-COVID and post-COVID. Pre-COVID, we did pretty good, showing 59% that actually wrote the service, used the service there. After COVID though, that dropped to 49%. However, the occasional riders, which was low pre-COVID, has actually showed an increase. So our numbers are low. There's no doubt about it. Last count was 1.3 million low. So we're missing a lot of rides. We're hoping this adventure will get those rides back in. those from the community that were resistant to the changes talked about the frequency of service and their route ending early. As I stated before, we're increasing our 4 routes during the daytime. The routes from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. There'll be 4 of them that will be on half-hour service. So it'll be bam, 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 bam. Okay, they won't be on the buses long. The buses will be moving, and we'll keep that service in play. And then, of course, you still have your peak times from 6 to 9 in the morning, and then from 2:15 to 6:15 in the evening. After 6:15, the buses won't be on the hour and 15-minute service anymore. They'll be on the hour service, period. So our next step, we've been communicating with Nelson Nygaard. Nelson Nygaard is actually going to provide us with large blow-up maps of the new system and new routes in place. We are going to plaster, I seriously mean we are going to plaster the transit center with information as well as all the buses. And then we're going to use the monitors as well to get the information out, not only to our drivers, but to the public as well. We want everybody to be hit so hard that they'll understand it. Now, we're also considering, I don't know how this is going to work. We want to do media coverage. It's just that it's hard to get all this information without paying for a half-hour show. So media coverage may be a little rough, but at least with media coverage, they can direct you to the places where you can get the information from. So now it's time to beg. Kansas have put in many hard hours to make sure that this system is going to work. And I mean, we've done changes. We've instituted right along for the actual operators who are coming in, driving the routes to make sure our times will work. Okay, we don't want the routes to be so tight that there's no breaks or anything involved in it. With that being said, we're asking that this proposal please be considered and then approved to move forward with. We'd like to actually start this March 6th of 22, which is the next sign up. So now bear in mind that even with us increasing routes on Sunday with the half-hour service, we are still cost neutral. This is not costing us not one extra penny.
That's what you say now. We'll be watching you.
We definitely roll that part a lot. So yeah, so it's a cost neutral plan. And in the end, it's actually going to help save our operators they're working their butts off day in and day out, overtime, lots of time. Family lives are kind of mixed up and confused right now because we are asking a lot from them. Under this program here, there'll actually be more operators who know exactly where they're going to be working, what days off are going to be, and they can do a little bit more planning. And if we cover it the way we want to cover it, it'll help reduce the overtime expense.
So there will be no need for extra hires. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying that.
Oh, I'm trying to hear this.
No, because there will still be the extra board that we use right now is like 23 people long, but they'll be shrunk down to 8 to 10 people. And those will be the necessary, like you gotta have show-ups, you gotta have vacation operators to cover vacation times, and we're gonna have a few trippers in there that we could not put with other work. So those have to be covered as well.
Any questions?
Let's go back to cost neutral.
Cost neutral.
Okay, cost neutral means to be neutral, not nada. So if you are, back to our chair's question, are you just, how do I say this? You're just rearranging people to make these changes? You are not adding people to make these changes?
No.
Or you have a surplus now that you're going to be utilizing in a more efficient way?
No, because
None of those.
we've had problems hiring people.
Okay.
Kind of like Angel, you get them all set to come in for the interviews and they never show up.
Okay.
Okay, so we've kind of laxed a little bit on the hiring process right now to see where we're going to be at. What's going to really save us here is that you're Route 16, you're Route 6, you're Route 9. they don't exist anymore as numbered, but other routes will cover those areas
Okay,
except for the Route 9.
gotcha.
Okay. And so that leaves us with a little bit more time to work with.
Okay.
That those last buses coming in at 1:30 in the morning,
Mhm.
no, I think the last one arrives should be like 12:45.
Okay.
Okay, but they're gonna kind of thin out and shift stuff.
Okay.
So where before you had 7 buses out after 10 o'clock,
Mhm.
you only gonna have 3.
Okay, all right. I
So,
got it.
yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
And you want an answer tonight, right?
Please.
Yakita needs an answer tonight, because she's doing all the work on it.
And you say everybody would be able to understand this by March, all the changes. So that communication would be,
Now, when you say everybody, you referring to the public or the operators?
all of the above.
All of the above, okay.
Mhm.
We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna do a mass flight of information to the public. We are, this week, right here, we're having separate training classes for the operators
Mhm.
to show them how their work will be, how they'll be able to pick their work, and how they'll be able to put it together, okay? You can jump in there.
The drivers, the routes that we currently have versus the routes that we're gonna go to, those routes are very similar to the routes that we currently have. They're just assumed by another route number or route name. So with that being said, there are areas that are cut out, but the drivers are familiar with these type of routes because they are familiar with it previously on another route. So that part won't be as hard to learn. The learning curve would be how the changes are at the transit center, because there are gonna be some changes at the transit center. The way the buses are lined up right now will be different going forward. So it's a learning curve for us all. So we all have to get on board to learn everything as much as we can. We want, the drivers to be all in, so they can come to these meetings, so they can be aware of what the changes are and things like that. So, slowly they're coming around, but not everyone. But we want to make sure that the communication to the public, we're trying to, we've prepared to dish out this communication to the public. We've had this up to 2019, but now that it's in place and we are probably moving forward with it, now we're going to start the communication more heavily and put it out there at the transit center, making sure, it's on the buses and things like that.
And one more question, just
Go for it.
let's just break it down for me and okay. Where I would catch the bus is at the corner of Flint and Lehman Road.
Mhm.
Is that gonna change for me?
It will not.
Okay,
The Route 5 will still cover that,
okay,
so it would still go around Flint and Raymond.
So
okay. Are there other places though that it might change where I would go to get? And where, is there a predominant area that that's gonna happen? Or is it just sort of kind of citywide?
It's citywide. There are certain areas, it's not, like the Route 6. If you look at the Route 6, the Route 6 is being, handled by, now the Route 4. But there's a strip on the Route 6 from, Sheridan and, Maine and Sheridan and Columbia Terrace.
Mhm.
That strip there,
Mhm.
we will no longer service.
Okay.
When you look at the Route 7, that strip from Garden and, Jefferson and Garden and Western, that strip
Okay,
over there by the
okay.
neighborhood house,
Right,
that will
right.
no longer be serviced.
Okay.
So, Candle Tree, that area over there will
Let's
no
go
longer
back
be
to the,
serviced.
so do you feel that it's not a customer hindrance, especially at the neighborhood house, not to have, you have investigated that to know that the ridership that you have received there currently will not be affected in a detrimental way by not having that particular. I'm saying that because I'm assuming that that's what you guys are, okay.
1%.
So I can trust that what you guys tell me.
We are aware
It's
that
true.
1% of the passengers will be affected. And that area, did not have a lot of ridership. There are people that do catch the bus there, but it's not a lot of ridership.
Okay.
But in order to increase the service and to allow the extension of other areas, we had to cut out areas that did not have the ridership that, that warranted keeping those areas in place.
So how would those people whose areas are cut out be able to use the bus? They will have to go to another bus stop?
They would go to another bus stop. There, the bus stop at, we have a couple routes that they can still utilize. They'd have to either walk to Western and Garden
Mhm.
or Jefferson and Garden. You know, so
Oh,
those
not
are
that
areas,
far. Okay.
yeah, so it's
Mhm.
half a mile, on most of the routes that we look at.
You know, I got a pet peeve. Now, if I get on the bus, do I have to go to Transit Center in order to go on the south side?
Are you getting on the south side or out? north?
I'm getting it on University.
On University,
Mhm.
yes. You would still have to do that.
Go to the Transit Center
Yes, ma'am.
and then take another bus.
Right, you would still have to do that, right. That's why we've tried to increase those routes, like the university route, for instance.
Mhm.
That's 1.5 hour routes.
Mm.
So from 6 in the morning to 6 in the afternoon, it's gonna be run on half-hour service. Period.
It also depends on where you're going. So if you're going on Western, the Western route crosses over University and Main. The
Mhm.
University bus comes down University and crosses over Main.
Mhm.
So you can definitely get off at University and Main and walk over to the next bus stop and catch the 11. So you would not have to,
I automatically go down to the Transit Center,
Right.
you could get to another
depending on,
bus. Okay.
depending on what bus you're taking. Or where you need to go.
Hopefully, the way that this is envisioned, people won't be on the buses as long as they were before. Because we have passengers tell us, you know, I'm on the bus an hour and 40 minutes.
Mm.
Like when it catches the number 16 way out the shops of Grand Prairie.
Mhm.
That's a long time to be on the bus. Too long a time, so.
Mhm.
So that's why we've kind of eliminated that route, split it up, and let 2 other routes actually handle that area. Oh, I didn't say the bag, so.
And this is not a roll call vote, because you just said it has nothing to do with money, right?
That's right, I know, this is cost neutral, this here will fit back in our plans and hopefully make it work a little better. So,
Sharon, are you listening?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All
So
right.
no roll, I guess I do. No
Okay.
roll call vote on this?
No. Will, can I get a motion?
I so move to accept the proposal.
I'll second it.
So it's been moved and, second that we accept the comprehensive operational analysis plan and get this training on the road so it can start March 2022.
yes.
Okay? All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Well, the ayes have it.
Thank you
I'll
so
get on
much.
the bus just to see if I can get on the south side without going
And
down.
I'll ride it with you.
Okay.
All right.
Because before I had to go down to the transit center, then I had to take another bus to another side. So we shall see. Thank you.
Okay.
Nikita's gonna give it on. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
But I do believe that change is necessary. And with new technology, with using their phones and everything, I think eventually we need to move on into that area.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it's that time.
I know it's not gonna be perfect, but it's gonna be near perfect, right?
Whenever. And don't- When we start March 6th, that doesn't mean that's the end of us putting things together to make it better. If we need to tweak stuff, we will. Okay,
Okay,
because this is rolled up as a 5-year plan. Okay, within that plan time, we want to keep it moving forward where it's not stagnant,
okay.
so that we stay in touch with what's going on, so.
Okay, but I put down no additional costs.
There you go.
Got that. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Nikita. Okay, okay. Oh, resolution 2225. Lisa,
Good evening.
good evening.
So this is a resolution to enter an agreement with Allied Universal for a 3-year contract with the option for 2 one-year extensions to provide unarmed security services at the transit center. Over the past couple of years, due to retirements in the Peoria Police Department and the staffing challenges that they're facing, they have been unable to provide the security levels that we did have. So the idea was to bring them in to provide that extra security for our passengers and employees and anyone else that may be down at the transit center. We received 3 responses to our RFP for unarmed security services. The scores are listed in your packets. So it's my recommendation that the Board of Trustees award the contract to Allied Universal for the 3-year contract starting February 20th, 2022, and the 2 optional 1-year options, an amount not to exceed $202,479.94 annually.
Any questions? Can I get a motion?
I move to accept the proposal.
I'll second it.
Okay, then move it and second that we accept this recommendation. Any discussion?
They just have one. You sure they need to be unarmed? I mean, I'm just asking. I mean, you hear so many things that are going on. You have such a different clientele that goes in and out of the transit center. I'm just.
Well, fortunately, we're a block,
Oh,
from
that's
the
true.
police department.
That is true.
We will still have some police presence there during times when they're able to provide officers down there. But the majority of the situations we run into at the transit center can be solved just by presence of a warm body.
Okay.
So, we have situations where sometimes, we have to escort somebody or have somebody leave the transit center because of their behavior, or we may have a situation that escalates a little bit, and then they can, try to escort people away from that area until we're able to get a police officer down there if one isn't present, so.
Is it still a warming center?
Because of COVID, the health department took it off its list in 2020.
Okay,
Right now, police and fire stations are listed as the warming centers for
Okay.
the city.
so we have a motion and a second. A roll call vote, Sharon,
Okay. Trustee Wortham,
approve.
trustee Ahart,
He's absent.
okay. Trustee Hare,
Approve.
trustee McBride, approve. And trustee Polk,
Approved.
So,
motion carries.
okay, thank you. Okay, now financial report for December.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is just for the December 2021 financial report. As usual, we spend majority operating expense for the following area: payroll, benefits, and also some type of professional service and the paratransit transportation service. This month's a little bit higher for payroll because we have 5 weeks instead of 4 weeks. Compared with the projection, this month we have a 0.19% more than our monthly budget. Overall, still under the control for this 6 months. Therefore, staff recommend board approve December operating expense of $3,33,626.36.
Okay. Can I get a motion?
I'll move to approve.
Okay, second.
I second.
Okay, it's been moved and second. Roll call vote, Sharon.
Trustee Wortham,
Approved.
trustee, I want to say Ahart, I'm programmed to do that. But, Cabs, do we call them when they're not there anyway?
No.
That's not necessary. We have a quorum.
Okay, trustee Hare,
Approved.
trustee, Polk,
Approved?
trustee McBride approved. Motion passes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Financial report. Okay, just a reminder of future meetings. It will be Monday, February 14th, Valentine's Day. Really? Okay,
Sorry about that.
it's a Monday, right?
No.
So you guys have something to do after, right? Okay. And then, March, 14th, that is if we don't have, people going to the legislative conference, right?
Correct.
And if we do, I did it before where we called in. Okay? There's somebody else up the chair. Somebody, okay.
Yeah.
Okay? Those are the next 2 dates. Can I get a motion for, adjournment?
So.
You got it.
Okay, a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much, everybody, for coming out. I think we got something accomplished tonight, and we look forward to next month, the 14th of February, with some real good news, right? Doug?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes.
Okay, good night.